we are going down here to Fort Sumter, and we're gonna get right on a ferry when you go to there because it's in the middle of an island. So we're getting ready to board the ferry. Maybe get to the boat a little earlier. It's a little packed. Yeah, so it was like packed at the top, in the middle, down below. We got here probably about, I don't know, 6 minutes before takeoff. Maybe get here earlier and you might get a seat. I mean, of course, most people probably wanting to see outside. That's why I'm standing out here, but yeah, maybe get here a little bit earlier when booking Fort Sumter. Now, if you're taking this tour of the Fort Sumter, on the boat, I didn't film it all, but on the boat, the guy who's on the boat actually gives you quite a bit of the historical information about Fort Sumter and the battle and everything else that took place. And he also told us that this sort of land bridge that actually connects to it was actually not here during the time of the war. You can definitely see the age in this place. Now this place is full of fascinating bricks for me. I don't know if this ugly part was part of the thing or they just remodeled it or what. This thing over here is down bad. So definitely a fascinating place if you like historical tours and stuff like that. Like I said, this is on the TourPass, so if you want to add that to it, you can do that. And check out this cool historical place that was the beginning of the Civil War. Sure, getting nice views out here of the water.
What? We've got many native-born United States citizens here, probably more than a few with a uniform in the closet with that flag sewn on the arm as a reminder of services rendered to our republic. Again, a different subjective viewpoint. What I'd like to challenge you to do while you're out here today is slip your feet into somebody else's shoes for a bit. Try to perceive history through the eyes of another. Let's start with that wealthy plantation and slave owner. It's 2 days after Christmas in the year 1860. Abraham Lincoln has been elected but not yet inaugurated, and you've been part of the independent Commonwealth of South Carolina for a whole week. You're standing on the veranda of your high-end townhome in downtown Charleston looking out at this enormous Game of Thrones looking fort. Again, a mile of open water, 360 degrees around it. The walls go up to that red stripe on the flagpole. And you're wondering, how's this whole secession thing going to change your spot at the tippy top of the social and economic pyramid? And while you're thinking about that, because it's a cool December day, you're quite happy when a cup of hot coffee comes your way, carried out by your house slave. Let's slide our feet into the shoes of that enslaved servant, if he or she even had shoes. You know that something's going on because you've heard your master talking about it. You'd love to grab the paper and check out the details, but you can't read because you see, it's a crime to teach enslaved people to read or write, because when you've got somebody underneath the boot of oppression, the last thing you want to do is give them the means with which to communicate ideas, especially ideas that are seditious and might upset the order of things. You just remember your mom and dad coming home from the brickyard at the local plantation where they were forced to make some of the millions of bricks that it took to build this place. And stories about your grandfather working out on the harbor in all weather, throwing boulder after boulder over the side to help create this man-made island upon which a fort was going to be built to provide security and freedom for everyone in Charleston, except for you. Or slide your feet into those one-size-fits-all boots of the Civil War soldier. Doesn't matter what side. You're dressed in wool from head to toe, which on a crisp morning like we had today wouldn't be so bad, but come back in about 6 weeks. You're trying to find out what's going on too, but clearly nobody paid the cable bill. But you can't get headline news. And you keep trying to call your mom to let her know that not only might you be late for supper, you might be late forever. But you can't get a signal. If you could do that, appreciate somebody else's perspective, then I would tell you you're on the road to understanding one of the things that makes the United States special. And that's diversity. And what diversity is not so much about is where you're born or what language you speak or what color your skin is or what you choose to worship, but rather about understanding that we each have different perspectives on things. And though those perspectives may differ, that doesn't necessarily mean that one is any better or any worse than any other. They may just be different. And one of the things we might have to agree to do is to disagree. But we can do that courteously, we can do that with respect for one another, and we can walk down to the corner, buy ourselves our own cup of coffee, and talk about something that's really important, like how cool it was to watch the flag go up at Fort Sumter on one beautiful spring day.
Sure, it's a nice place to visit if you want to learn about the Civil War and stuff like that. Because I do believe the guy on the boat, he was really informative talking about that. They do have a museum, but it's very packed in this confined space. Oh my God.
650 feet.
I'm gonna die in this confined area.
I don't know where they all ate.
All right, so that was Fort Sumter. If you're gonna check it out on your next Charleston visit,
I was just letting Dave know that we were coming. He said behind
I do recommend checking it out, especially with the boat ride. I really enjoyed the boat ride. And you learn about history on it, so it's sort of like a 2-for-1 when you do this trip. All right, so there you have seen it, Fort Sumter. A cool little place that you can go and check out when you're down here in Charleston. Recommend it. It was really cool. I enjoyed the boat ride, really. I mean, that was like my favorite part. One, because I guess it was a few days ago, we just went to Fort Pulaski, which was, in my opinion, the fort looked a lot more amazing than Fort Pulaski over there towards Savannah. You'll probably see that on the channel too. I don't know when I'm uploading this, but you can probably see that on the channel and compare and contrast. But if you are in Charleston, this is a cool little place. One, because you can get the boat ride, which is about a 30-minute here and 30-minute there boat ride. So you get about an hour boat ride here and there. And then you get the tour of this Fort Sumter for about an hour. So highly recommend it. Anyway, I guess I will go ahead and wrap up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.